Hello, welcome everybody to the platform and core development update. My name is Balázs, and we are here with 6 teams presenting you what we've done in the past 2 weeks. If you have any questions, please let us know in the live chat, or any comments, any encouragements, any feedback. Let us know. We will try to answer every question regarding the platform and core development at the very end, at the Q&A session. Without further ado, let's start with Tenderdash.
Hello everyone, my name is Dmitry. I'm software developer at Tenderdash team. Well, today I want to share with you some achievement. And first of all, we finished working on the problem with the seed connectivity issue. I already mentioned about this topic on the last review session. And on that time, we investigated the problem, and currently we fixed it. We found the problem, fixed it, and it should work. So basically it's already ready in order to deploy it and test it on testnet. So next topic is the list, the backport of the latest changes between v0.10 and v0.11. So currently Tenderdash has 2 versions which we supported. So first version v0.10 and second v0.11. So the first version doesn't support new BLS schema, and v0.11 supported it. So, and we contribute in v0.10, and from time to time we just backported all changes which we already contributed there to v0.11, because we very soon switch on v0.11 when Drive will support the new BLS schema. So, and the next topic is integration, about the integration with v0.11 with Drive. Drive team and Tenderdash team worked on this topic. We found that we had some difference between how BLS schema uses in a Tenderdash and in core, and we found the difference, eliminated it, and currently Drive already can use v0.11 and the latest version of the core. Well, let's see what will be next time, but yeah, currently it works more or less. Next topic about the refactoring block sync module. So the Tenderdash consists from the different modules, and like a consensus, block synchronization, state synchronization, and so on. And in block synchronization and block sync module, we had a flaky test, so very unstable. Sometimes it passed, sometimes it not, and we found the time in order to start investigate this problem, because if we have a flaky test, we have only one way what we can do, just disable it, because that doesn't make sense to have such kind of test active. So, and since our application very critical, we started to investigate this issue, and when we worked on it, we refactored block synchronization model at all, and currently it's already ready for review. So I think the review will start only next week, because we need a developer who will join on us. Well, and the last thing which I want to share, that is the release v0.11 dev 3, which includes the changes with the changes I already mentioned, with integration, with eliminated the problem with integration with Drive, and also the recent changes which we reported from the v0.10 version. So I have done. Thank you for attention.
Yeah, a little bit about the next steps.
Sorry. Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, since we finished working on integration with the Drive, we drove through this topic. It's kind of third topic from the top, and now we have only one open topic which we need to finish before testing phase. That is just a word extension for withdrawal transactions, and it will take around 2 hours. And yeah, I think it's not critical for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe worth adding that it's also dependent on the finishing of the Rust DPP integration.
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you very much, Dima.
Thank you.
GroveDB.
Yeah, sure, I'll take this one.
Thank you.
So in GroveDB, we don't really have anything left except proof specification. Over the last 2 weeks, though, there was a task in protocol where I saw that it would be better if we just did a little optimization when if we insert something, we check before we insert something to make sure it's changed. So if it hasn't changed, then we don't write the same data again. And writing the same data again is more costly than checking the data. So it's basically just makes fees go down to do it this way. So yeah, just a little optimization. There's really nothing, not much work going on in GroveDB right now. Wisdom was working on the proof specification draft. It's a big document, so it's taking some time. And with that, that's it. we're kind of done that in that section. So,
okay, thank you very much. Let's continue with protocol. Javid, would you kick us off?
Yay! Hello, everyone. I am extremely happy to tell you that we're finally merged withdrawals and its basic state. Since for us to test them properly, we still need to finalize DPP integration first, so we can write a proper end-to-end tests and check withdrawals are working correctly. And the second thing I should note is that we are in the middle of discussion on some stuff that may lead to small changes in Tenderdash and code that responsible for withdrawals in platform. But those changes should be minor. Once those two are settled, we will be able to test withdrawals properly, and hopefully everything would be fine and we're good. So that's it.
Thank you very much.
Yo, congrats.
Woo. Yeah, that was a big.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, go on.
I was just saying it feels great to have withdrawals merged in. It's been being worked on since a very long time. So it feels great to have it merged in. It was a big PR.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And just
to
say one more thing though, we do have hundreds of tests around withdrawals. It's just because not everybody in the call understands the difference between, a test and an integration test and unit tests. And so we do have a lot of testing to make sure it works properly. But you can't actually test the entire system until, it's running with withdrawals enabled. So, the end testing phase test is not done, but it should be working properly according to all the other tests. Okay, go on, Ivan.
Cool, thanks. Also this sprint we worked on the Core 19 integration. So if you don't know yet, new Core v19 release candidate is released yesterday and we integrated into the platform. And we worked on the integration of the HPMN as a separate tasks and for the local network. So the Dashmate, when you start the local network, currently creating the normal master nodes, but it actually should use the high performance master nodes. So we're working on this, nearly done. We just need to incorporate new quorum types in the Tenderdash, and we are good. We also created finally the self-contained Dashmate package. It means that during our release phase, we publish the no, I'm not sure we publish. We create the Debian package, the package for Mac OS and Windows. So you don't need to install like multiple dependencies, only Docker and Dashmate, and it contains everything inside. So it should simplify the some user experience for end users, for master owners. We're also working on the updating Dashmate setup command, which is mean to set up your node on your host machine, and we incorporating the high performance master nodes there as well. And actually, it's not just high performance master nodes. It's we also kind of reworked the whole command to make it more verbose and understandable for the end users, because before only developers use it, and now we're close to release Dashmate as the distribution package for platform. And I would like to share some news regarding the upcoming deployments. So core team is preparing the deployment of core 19 testnet. And since platform will go as HPMN nodes, we want to test the real life scenario, like we deploying testnet only with the core 19, and then we deploy and register additional HPMN nodes on testnet with Dashmate. So you should expect platform on testnet a little bit later than core 19. Yep, that's about it. Cool. Sam, you want me to help with the first two?
I mean, me and Ivan did these first two together. But Ivan, I'm going to take the ones afterwards. So why don't you just do these two?
Cool. So in our model repo, we have the packages for each system contract. System data contract is the data contracts what we create on Genesis state and use for it's kind of part of the platform, but it's using the data contract functionality. It's like the DPNS, for example, for username registration, or feature flags, or master node reward shares. We have a system contract for withdrawals. Like we have like several of them, and we have them packaged for Node.js, so we can use them for NPM for JavaScript, so we can use them separately with other libraries and packages, but we didn't have it for Rust. And there were some implications which are some, I would say, obstacles which didn't allow us to progress with withdrawals, because we need the system contracts in our Rust components as well. And we separated them into separate Rust crates, and implemented a convenient loader, so we can load the system contracts in other components. And also previously we published this system contract on Genesis state. It's like block 0 in each chain in JavaScript drive, but with this approach, we had problems to test, to have integration tests in Rust drive. So we moved the Genesis state initialization from JavaScript drive to Rust drive. So it will allow us to build more integration tests on the Rust side. Cool, thank you. Sam?
Yep. And this was originally something that we were planning on doing. No. Go back. This was actually something we were originally planning on doing after release, actually, because we had never planned to rewrite the JavaScript drive execution part, and we've been running into issues with it. So like this was an issue, so we decided to rewrite some of it. And this is one of the things that we've rewritten. So it's, it's one thing less for later, which is nice. Yeah, so one really cool task that has happened also was, originally we were planning on doing hard fork upgrades based off of core. So if we wanted to ever upgrade a platform, we needed to upgrade core, and there was a minor upgrade, a masternode upgrade. Everybody would have to upgrade, even if platform just has a small change that needs to be upgraded. And this is probably not an ideal way of doing it. So in this, this is actually a pretty big task, because now we have hard forks in platform as well. The way that works basically is the master nodes just upgrade their, the high performance master nodes, the ones that are running platform, just upgrade their nodes, and they signal that they have upgraded to the network. And if over 75% have upgraded over an epoch is 18 days, then it gets locked in, the upgrade gets locked in, and then you have another 18 days before it activates. So it's really nice. We now have hard fork upgrades in platform. So you always have to, like, there's a lot of other work that's needed to properly deal with versioning in DPP, in protocol, and in Drive, and in Grove DB. We don't have all of that yet. What we do have is we have some tidbits here and there. And so, since we're just going for the first version, we're basically putting version 0 everywhere and having just a little bit of logic, so it's not hard for us to upgrade in the future. But it's not all going to be written right now, because we do have to release. Cool. So next one, abstract value. Yeah.
Do you mind me to add a few words? Actually, there is another way is available for a couple of years already, is the protocol upgrade with the feature flag, which was there for initial testing period. The thing.
Yeah, that was an option, but basically, allowing upgrades with feature flags makes it so DCG controls protocol upgrades, and then DCG could say platform is anything. Obviously, this was a bad decision, because, well, we don't want to be in control of what the version of the network is running, right? It was a plan that was.
It's not was planned for mainnet. It was planned for testing period, because it's much simpler than you can test. The all your forks.
Yeah. But anyway, so we really needed to do this. We didn't really need to do this. We could, as I said, we could have done it with core upgrades, core telling platform what version it needed to upgrade to, which is much easier. But anyways, I felt this was important, so I spent a weekend on it and we got it. So next one, abstract value compatible with CBOR and JSON implementation. Yes, so we're in an interesting situation right now where there's a lot of things blocked on Rust DPP. And for example, me, this is kind of like a polishing task. It's not essential, but it is something that really will help a lot in code maintainability. So what it is that in the very beginning, we put some components of how would I put this? We made a little bit of shortcuts, and now I'm basically fixing the shortcuts, creating a value component that works as an abstraction on top of any type of serialization that you wish to have. So you can have CBOR serialization, you can have just any type of serialization. And this will allow actually much smaller sizes and much more easy code readability when we do efficient data serialization. Actually, it goes kind of with it, right? So the smaller sizes are basically the efficient data serialization, and the abstract value makes the code just look and be much more maintainable in the future. So that's that. Refactor document type and document stubs. Yeah. Again, we were all working in silos for years. Like there was the protocol side working on one side, there was the drive side working on another, and they were not completely in sync. So there was some code that was written as in one, and some code that was written in the other. And then when we merged them, we kind of did a few tricks to make it work easily together. And basically now I'm cleaning that up. So there's just like, it's a lot more efficient, and the code looks a lot more clean. That one's also in progress. And both of these, the abstract value one, I was hoping to be done with today. I'm probably an hour away, but before the review. So I'm going to guess that's when we'll be merged in tomorrow. The refactored document type and document stubs, it's also, it's actually everything is passing. So it's almost in review as well. I probably want to make some changes after the abstract value gets merged in. Efficient data serialization. So that is pretty much done, in the sense that a lot of work has also happened on that in the last sprint, but we can't really merge it in until Rust DBP gets merged in, because we have to verify that Rust DPP works with the system before we go into efficient data serialization, because the JavaScript part has a lot of tests, and we have to, if we change too much, we won't know if the tests are breaking for this purpose or that purpose. So, we can write this code and just kind of have it waiting. And as soon as the Rust DPP gets merged in, we can merge these as well. Efficient data serialization and data contract bounds for identity keys. So those are both kind of, very close to being done. We just need to wait for the big, the blocking item. Okay. Yes, and again, so on protocol side, it's looking pretty good with withdrawals done. We are, kind of entering this kind of polishing phase where there's not much left, and a lot of things are blocked by the DBP integration. Now, DBP is actually Dash Platform integration, Dash Platform protocol, and we had previously split out like previous protocol tasks and Rust port, which were just porting things that we had previously done into Rust. So, our main focus I mean, we're going to get to Rust port right afterwards, but our main focus on the next sprint is basically to power through the Rust port stuff as much as we can to try to finish that as soon as possible. Okay, let's go on to Anton. By the way, couldn't make it today, so I believe who's talking right now? Igor?
Could it be me first? Hello, guys.
Oh, okay.
This is Pavlo. Yeah, today with Igor, we will be replacing Anton soon. So yeah, as you know, we are currently during the process of integration of Rust DBP with JavaScript part of the platform. And in this sprint, we are actually done the followings. As you know, the protocol uses intensively the JSON schema for validation, the contract, documents, identities, other data structures. So some of the features actually that are used in JavaScript versions comes from JSON schema version 2020. More precisely, this feature is called unevaluated properties. So as the most of libraries in different languages, like specifically in our case, Rust, support JSON schema only version 7. We had to modify the most mature library we have in Rust. I mean, JSON schema REST. And Evgeny actually made a great effort to introduce these lacking functionalities for us. So in the last sprint, we made this lacking functionality done. Regarding the second bullet, the documents transitions. In the last sprint, we had still unfinished work related to documents. In this sprint, we have basically everything done. So basically, all APIs related to documents are working, and according to this, are compatible with the JavaScript version. And it turns out that this whole process it took a little bit longer than we expected because we had a kind of problem with structures called data triggers. Data trigger, it's kind of custom validator, right? It's specific for specific types of the contracts. But luckily, the work is done, and but we still have some pull requests that are not merged yet because there are multiple pull requests that cover the whole work related to documents. And data contracts. In the last sprint, also, we have unfinished work related to data contract facade. Data contract facade is kind of top-down component that combines all other subcomponents related to data contract and provides high-level API to an interface to developer. This work was unmerged. Finally, in the last sprint, we managed to go through a review and merge the whole work related to data contract as well. So yeah, that's all from my side. Igor, can you continue?
Thank you, Pavel. So last week we were busy with V24 backwards. If you remember on the last sprint review, on previous sprint review, I mentioned that there is a certain divergence between JS-DBP and Rust DBP. Mainly this includes some optimizations and bug fixes. And this week we spent some time on that. Aside from the backports, we had a chance to start integrating RSDBP into DAPI. And identity facade was one of the prerequisites for that. Basically, identity facade is an entry point for RSDBP entry point that allows perform all the relevant identity transitions, like create, update, top up, and etc. So yeah, this part of the main DBP interface is done. We're waiting for one more piece to continue on DAPI integration. Yeah, and finally, we worked with the small refactoring. Actually, I don't think it's small, but yeah, still, that allows us to have unified interface for errors in RSDBP for simplicity and ease of using. And yeah, this is it, mostly. We continue to merging someone finished an unreviewed pull request related to documents. We need to finish integration tests for data contract and to continue on RSDP integration, as I said in previous slide. This is it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to core.
All right. So hello guys. Some really quick updates on core for the last weeks. We finally merged the high performance master nodes implementation. Currently we have working and stable DevNet running v19 RC1. So we are gathering all the minor changes that needs to be implemented for final release. One thing that I want to share with you, since we are updating the format of internal database for storing stuff in core, when you guys will upgrade to v19, that means that a downgrade isn't possible anymore. Or I mean, you could downgrade, but you have to re-index, because we are changing EvoDB, because we had some input from the community about the v19 RC1. Besides that, we are pending for the deep changes in our repo. We are waiting for basically v19 release to publish them as well. Pasta, could you please tell us quickly about the merged PRs?
Yeah, sure. So we're not going to go through them because there's quite a few there, but I did want to just kind of list out the pull requests that we've merged in the past 2 weeks. And so if you're interested in the more specifics of them, a lot of them are pretty minor. Some of them are pretty substantial backports, stuff like that. Go over to the GitHub and take a look at those PRs if you're interested. But just wanted to list those there. Otherwise, we're good to move on to the next slide, Balázs. Alrighty, so yeah, as was mentioned twice now, we did release the v19 release candidate. So far, we only released the Linux binaries. I'll probably be releasing the macOS and Windows binaries today, maybe tomorrow, but probably today. I think everyone else completed their builds, so we should be good to release those at this point. And so I put the v19 schedule over here on the right, so that people can kind of take a look at that. And so basically right now we're on about halfway through where we're at release v19 RC1. And so you can see what our plan is for a final release. Of course, there's always the disclaimer at the bottom. This is just a plan. It's almost certainly going to change, but this is our kind of intention right now, is to get v19 out towards the end of March. That should allow about 4 weeks or so on testnet. We're releasing RC1 right now. Probably in 4-ish days or so after we release RC1, we'll plan on hard forking testnet, and that will activate the new high performance master nodes, the new BLS stuff. All of that will be activated once we hard fork testnet. So yeah, that's about it with v19 stuff. And so now I'm just going to talk briefly about v20. There's always continued maintenance, backporting, and small features. You saw the list of pull requests on the last slide. There's a bunch of stuff that happens every week or every 2 weeks, but a lot of it just isn't super interesting to talk about, so we don't really. The big three things coming for sure with V20, and I want to mention that V20 is designed to be incredibly flexible. Virtually everything on this list is already at least probably, it's either very simple or basically done. Asset locks is already done from Core's perspective. The Masternode reward location reallocation, so that is for high performance Masternodes, moving those rewards into platform directly and not getting paid out on the core chain. That's really quite a simple operation. It's basically just add a if block on one certain segment of code. And that's about it. There's, of course, there's going to be testing associated with it, but it's really quite simple. Enhanced hard forking is probably the most difficult-ish, but that has already had an implementation, an initial implementation merged into the code base, and now we just have to work on the LLMQ side of things, the Masternode side of things with it, and I don't expect it to take long at all. So yeah, V20 is designed to be very, very flexible. V20 is what will be deployed with platform as the actual activation of platform. And so Core is really flexible on when we're going to release that, depending on what the testing and timelines of the other teams end up demanding. So the feature list of V20 might be a lot more extensive. There might be more things going on depending on how much time we have. But these are the three things that almost certainly will be included in V20, or really asset locks and Masternode reward location have to be included in V20. So yeah, that's what's next. We're working on V20 and we're migrating or we're upgrading testnet with V19 right now. So yeah, you'll see probably more communication in the future about RC1 and future release candidates. I still have to create the forum post about it. I haven't done that yet since we haven't released the Windows and macOS binaries, but once I get those out, there'll be a forum post and all that kind of stuff, and we'll want you guys to start testing with it, start playing with it, trying to break it like we've had you do with all the previous release candidates. And depending on what we find, that will inform how long it stays on testnet before going to mainnet. So I think that's it from Core. So Balázs, I think it's time to move on to questions.
Well said. Thank you very much. So I see a few one-level questions, but let us just keep it to the very end of the session to answer that. When ordinals in Dash?
What's an ordinal? Does anybody here know what the question meant?
Nope.
All right, then let's skip to
If somebody who asked the question wants to
elaborate on that. Yeah,
elaborate then.
Please do. What is the status currently for Dashmate? I think we discussed a little bit about that. There seems to be still a lot of issues with Dashmate on platform GitHub. Some feedback on there would be nice. Is there anything else you would like to, or maybe as a summary to answer that?
So this question was actually asked before we gave the update on it.
Yes.
So I don't think. Yeah, Ivan, you want to say something else?
Yeah, I can add briefly that the issue what we have on the, so basically Dashmate does two different things. It's allow you to start the node for the network, and then also allow you to start the local network for development. And starting the regular node is more or less stable. but the local network for developers has like many issues what you could see on the GitHub. So we never had the priority to fix them all because it's only for developers. But we consider the Dashmate as pretty stable at this moment. And I think like in 2 weeks, it will be even more because we are accomplishing end-to-end tests for Dashmate and CI. And we are preparing Dashmate for delivery very soon.
Thank you very much for this addition. The next question is, do you have any ideas how much it would cost to use GroveDB? How easy will it be for someone who has a PHP backend to export it? Typical plans now are around $300 per year for approximately 5 gigs data transfer.
Well, like all databases, it serves a need, right? So if your need is that you need a database with provability, like for a blockchain, it's great, right? How much would it cost to use it? Well, it's not a service. Platform is a service, right? So you could, the question I think has a little bit of confusion in it. Your question could actually mean two things. One could be like, how much would it cost to use platform as a backend database for my application? That actually is a very valid question. And, you know, one of the main goals of platform is to attract people, hopefully like yourself, who have plans at a certain amount for a certain amount of data transfer, and you know they want to move it out. Now in Dash, you're not actually paying for data transfer, but you're actually paying for storage space. So if you have something that is requires a lot of queries, but doesn't actually require a lot of storage space, it's probably going to be very, very advantageous to you to migrate to platform. If, on the other hand, you're storing a lot of data, it's probably not going to be advantageous to you. Like, let's say you're storing like videos, right? Then it's not going to be advantage for you to move to platform because storage of a lot of data would cost a lot, and instead, there are other blockchain projects that work better for large file storage. That is not yet the purpose of platform. So, and then if your question, however, is okay, I want to use GroveDB just as a database with because of the provability element, well, it's probably going to be typical. But since you talked about plans, I don't think that's what you meant. So I hope I answered the question. If you have any follow-up, I'd be happy to answer more.
All right, thank you very much. So a question / feedback or idea, I'm going to read it out loud. DCG could use an architectural diagram overview in their updates to facilitate better understanding of what is said. Thank you for the idea. I think we will discuss it on our retrospective. If you have any comments to that, let me know.
I have a quick follow-up question for you, Jalwaz. Do you mean a diagram of how platform, all the components work between each other, or do you mean an architectural diagram for specific feature upgrades? So That's maybe.
Yeah. I think the goal is to facilitate this demo, the understanding of this demo. So he might refer to a diagram that it's related to the features we are talking about. But yeah, please answer those if you can. So another question from Quiz regarding Dashmate. Let me know if we have already answered it or not. Can Dashmate be configured to just set up the platform chain and the platform chain services, excluding an already set up and specifically configured main chain? -D.
No, platform doesn't work without core. It's based on the payment chain.
All right, thank you.
Isn't the question was about will Dashmate will be able to set up a pre-existing -D platform on top of pre-existing -D? Or am I wrong?
So you're
And
running
already
the
set up.
separate. I got it. Sorry, I misunderstood the question. I mean, technically, yes, but we didn't test such approach. Yes. Yeah. You probably can do it.
Yes. So it's theoretically yes. The answer.
Yeah, it must be. It must be in the same Dashnet, in the same Docker network. If so, it shouldn't be a problem.
I don't think he meant with Docker already being used for -D.
Oh,
All right. Another feedback on an overview diagram would be really helpful while explaining. Thank you for that.
Logical component overview. Oh.
All righty. What else? Follow up from the above. Can we get a commitment to update the DCG roadmap every month as needed? Also, may want to let people know that there's a nice expanded explanation if you click on the roadmap items. All right. Do you want to take it? I don't think we can make this commitment right now, as not everyone who involved in this decision is here in the call. But yeah,
Exactly.
Sam, do you want to take it?
Yeah, exactly. So our head of product is not on the call right now, and because of that, like we can't really commit to doing something that he would, not be in agreement with. However, why don't we have a talk with him over the next sprint and just ask the question again in 2 weeks from now, and we'll give you that answer. Okay. Or
though we are planning to have more frequent updates on the roadmap than before. That's for sure. That's our intention to do.
Yes.
Ordinals. Something about ordinals being mined on Bitcoin for NFTs and causing network congestion, etc. There was some discussion on this in Discord.
I don't know what they are. So, or ordinals are a bug. Dash doesn't have them. I think XKCD probably knows better. So,
assuming that they are some kind of NFT or colored coin or something like that on Bitcoin, then Dash's foundation is the same as Bitcoin, and so it could probably be done on Dash as well. But that's speaking generally. We don't really know about what ordinals are specifically.
Yeah, thank you for elaborating on this diagram. I think more detailed architecture diagram could be useful, a simpler visual that shows all the connected components used to explain and use that to explain where we are in the diagram or something like that. All right, that is a nice idea. Thanks for elaborating that. That is something for us to consider that probably help facilitate the understanding. All right, is there any other question that you see in the live chat? If no more questions, thank you very much for joining. When Evo. That was, I almost forgot to answer the question, or get back to that question. So when Evo?
Well, we could have ended. It was a good idea that we ended right then and there. So when Evo, that's a good, I don't even have my video on. Oh, sorry, guys. You can see my beautiful face. So as people have seen in our update today, we are kind of done on Tenderdash. GroveDB basically has no work left there. And we are in a very good state in the protocol side of things, the drive side of things. Withdrawals just got merged in, so RS drive is close to feature complete. And now we have the RS DPP as the last big ticket item. It's really hard to say how long this is going to take because the estimations have changed multiple times. We've also had people that were sick on the last sprint on that working on that part. So things took longer than expected. We should have been maybe a little bit further along at this point, but people get sick, it happens. So hopefully what will happen is we'll get a lot more clarity on that last part over the last sprint as more people go into it and pile on to finish it. That's the closest I can say about when Evo. I've been giving, 2 weeks. I've said 2 weeks multiple times. I don't want to say anything anymore. It's very frustrating for me because I get estimations myself and they're wrong. There's a lot more work that I don't know about. So at the moment, all I can see is as much as other people can see. We're trying to be as transparent as we can about it. The work is kind of finishing in multiple different places. And, the work that I've been doing over the last few days has been polishing mostly because, it's hard to switch into something else. So, and other people I think are also doing a little bit of polishing in a few areas of protocol. But yeah, we still basically have our, this Rust port just move from one to the other. There have been a lot of back ports going on in the sprint. Soon.
Yeah, so maybe worth just highlighting that one milestone ahead of us is the Rust DPP integration. That if you see the slides, there are some things that are dependent on that. And once we are ready with that, we can start to work on those rest of those tasks. But as Sam mentioned,
but we're not, most of those tasks, we're not going to start to work on them, right? It's
just, start to finish those, I should say.
Yeah, the pull requests are there. We just need this thing done. But we've been in this situation before. We had Identity V2, I think 2 weeks ago. Then we had withdrawals. Sorry, not 2 weeks ago, a month ago. And then we had withdrawals that were done this sprint. So we've been finishing these big ticket items. We've had a lot of progress. We have RSDPP as this big last thing that we need to switch over. I mean, we'll hopefully have it done as soon as possible. I personally do not know, other than what I've seen today, what is needed. because I get the same information. Our developers are telling the same information that we're writing here. So, and I've looked at the code as well, and I see the same thing. But, I personally haven't gone as deep as I am in other parts. So while while we can see like what is said, there could be other items, because not so many eyes have looked at it. There could be things, but at least I'm praying that there aren't.
We are all.
Yes.
All right. Thanks everybody. And thank you for the feedback and the ideas. Hopefully we'll see each other in 2 weeks, and wish you best of luck to everybody. Thanks for joining. See you in 2 weeks.